All the links to the original posts are given in the description. So now let's head straight to the video. My girlfriend has lied and kept secrets from me more than once now in a long-distance relationship. How should I talk to her about it? I'm sorry this is a really long post. I feel there's a lot of important context, etc. So thank you to anyone who takes the time to read this. Me and my GF are in a long-distance relationship right now. We were together for just under a year before she had to move country because of her job. She was clear that she wanted to still be together, and I was too. She even talked about wanting to get married so that I could come live with her and her one kid permanently. I always made it clear to her that an open and honest relationship is the most important to me, and that if anything happens or someone says anything, even if it's a relatively small thing, we should talk about it and joke about it if it's not too serious. Around 7 months into our relationship, I found out a few small things that she had never told me about like that before me. She had slept with some of the people that she worked with, including people that I had met and talked to that would come over and hang out at her house sometimes. We talked about it. I understood that these had no relevance to our relationship since it was before me and that it didn't really mean anything. Just that I wish she would have been open about it rather than keeping it from me so as not to hurt my feelings. We agreed and were all good, and she was relatively good at making sure we were comfortable, like making sure I felt okay whenever her male friends came over and such. But these few small instances of her keeping things from me until I brought them up was the only small red flag in the relationship then, and made me a little nervous, honestly. I went to visit her a month after she moved and stayed with her for about 3 months. One night we got drunk and she went to bed early, and I made an unhealthy decision to look through her phone. I know I shouldn't have done it, and I don't excuse myself for it, but I had been cheated on before, and some of the stuff she kept from me before made my drunken self do it. Unfortunately, I found out that after she moved, she went out with her new co-workers, got too drunk, and her boss drove her home. They both then ended up sleeping in her bed but didn't have sex or anything. I remember that she told me about that night when it happened, but she never mentioned any of the stuff with her boss and actively kept it from me. I also knew that after that, she was staying at her boss' place because she was having trouble finding a permanent place to live, so her boss offered to put her up at his. I understand that living with someone is already a naturally more intimate experience and that she had to either stay with him or be homeless. But the messages I saw between them, I would argue, were a little flirty, though maybe more so from him than her. I confronted her about them sleeping in her bed and about some of the messages they exchanged. At first, she denied knowing about it. After a long talk, she admitted to it and admitted to keeping it secret so as not to make me feel weird. We agreed that she has to communicate better and not keep hiding things like this. Although that situation itself is a bit weird on its own, I would have trusted her not to do anything and understood that it only happened because she was too drunk to know what was going on. She also told me she didn't want to get so wasted with her coworkers anymore so that she doesn't lose her self-control. I apologized to her for going through her messages too. Anyway, this all kinda leads up to the most recent thing that happened. I'm back in my home country now, and 2 days ago, we're on the phone together. I fell asleep while on the phone because of the time difference, and we normally stay on the phone together whenever we can to make it feel more like we're closer. I woke up in the night to hear a ringing noise coming from my laptop and found that she had hung up. I opened my laptop to see that a call notification from one of her coworkers was coming through and realized that she was still logged into her social account on my laptop from when I stayed with her. It was around midnight for her, so I thought it was a little strange someone would call her so late, but I didn't think much of it, and I didn't look anymore, as I told her before that I wouldn't look at her messages again. The next day, we got back on the phone and I asked if anyone called her yesterday, mostly as a joke so that she could say yes and I could be like, haha, I know, actually you're still logged in here, lol. But instead she says no one called. I ask if she's sure because I swear I heard ringing. She says no, definitely not, and promised no one called, which immediately makes me go from jovial to anxious. She shows me her call history on her phone and I see that she had removed her coworker from her message and call list. Since I know for a fact her coworker called, I get very suspicious, cave and look at her social on my laptop. I type in the name of the person who called her and I see clearly the messages and calls that were made. I ask her to open the chat for the guy that called her and she asks why I don't believe her and how she can't believe I don't trust her. She does it anyway and shows no messages between them. I refresh the page on my laptop to see that she deleted all the messages and calls between them altogether seconds before showing me, and my heart sinks. I tell her that if she's lying again or hiding something that it's okay, but please just tell me now before it goes any further. She promises she's telling the truth, says why would I hide something like that? I tell you everything and that I'm being untrustworthy of her. I reveal that I saw the calls on my laptop and I know that she deleted the messages and she comes clean with it all. She says that her coworker was at a bar drinking and called her and they talked for a while and she didn't want me to feel weird that she had hung up on me to talk to him. I tell her how much it hurts me that she would lie to my face and even make promises that aren't true. I tell her how it makes me doubt how real anything she says is now if she can so easily throw out lies and go to such lengths to cover them up. I tell her that saying that I have trust issues to get away with lies is essentially gaslighting in my opinion. She goes quiet, says something like she needs therapy, doesn't talk much, and cries quietly. I didn't know what else to say in the moment, and it was late, so I had to go to sleep. I woke up and we talked a bit about nothing. She had plans to go to her friend's house before going out with a group of her coworkers, so we didn't have time to talk properly. She's also not one to talk about serious things, so I usually have to bring the topic up. She told me she'd probably only go hang out for a couple of hours before heading home. That was fine. It gave me time to think of how to continue. This morning, I wake up at around 3 a.m. her time and text her. She responds immediately and says she just got home. She says she ended up staying out drinking, went to a club with them, and had someone drive her home. I don't want to be the person that tells their partner they can't have fun and go out, of course, but hearing that she stayed out so late with the same coworkers she'd been secretly calling and texting before we've even had a chance to talk about anything makes me feel kinda isolated. Anyway, this all led to me sitting here writing this to make sure I'm not crazy or toxic for feeling anxious. The main issues I'm not sure how to deal with is that she lied to my face and hid things from me purposefully to the point where I don't know if she's genuinely just trying to save me from feeling weird or something else. I want to tell her that if she's serious about us and if something happens that she thinks would make me feel weird, she should probably either not do it so as to respect our relationship or to tell me the truth about it if she feels justified. Me and her kid get on really well, and I wonder if the fact that she wants to have a stable partner, father figure, clashes with her being young and not wanting to have the responsibilities of a serious relationship. When I stayed with her, we basically never got time to go out ourselves because of her kid, etc., which is fine, but it's a little strange that she is able to go out herself whenever I'm not around. However, she would pay for a lot of things when I was there since I don't have a stable income, so I can understand that myself as a financial burden wouldn't help with babysitter costs, etc. I love her very much and I want to believe she loves me too, but I don't feel she respects what it takes to be in a stable relationship. I wrote a response letter type thing that I want to say to her when we next call, which basically tells her that I can't be with her if a lie like this happens again since it's already happened twice. I don't think she would have cheated on me outright, but the lies she tells still breaks the trust I've been working on with her. I'm completely supportive of her going to therapy to figure out why she thinks the way she does, but I don't feel a lack of therapy is an excuse to lie like that. What do you guys think? Thanks again for reading such a long sob story, lol. I hope everyone else is doing great and feeling good. TLDR, my girlfriend lied to my face about calling one of her coworkers. When I asked her about it, she deleted all the messages and call history before showing me her messages in order to hide her lie, and promised me that she didn't call anyone and told me I was being dramatic and untrustworthy. I told her that I knew she was lying and she confessed. Now I feel our trust is broken and her promises mean nothing if she's able to throw them out without thought or care. She also previously wasn't allowed to tell people about me because she was still technically married, and she once got reported at her work for being seen with me. As a result, she feels she can't tell anyone about us at her work. But she's now going through the divorce process, and everyone at her work knows she's not with her wife anymore, so although I understood keeping me away from her work life at first, it's now beginning to feel a bit strange to me that she has to pretend like she's single. Obviously, it's not her fault that people would come onto her, but she's not exactly helping if she's telling everyone she doesn't have a partner. Also, I feel like she is a little flirty and doesn't really set boundaries towards people coming onto her. She kinda just allows it. It's clear that you're going through a challenging situation in your long-distance relationship, and it's natural to feel anxious and concerned when trust issues arise. Here are some suggestions on how to address this situation. Communicate openly. When you do have a conversation with your girlfriend, it's important to express your feelings and concerns honestly but calmly. Use I statements to avoid sounding accusatory. For example, say, I felt hurt and anxious when I discovered the messages were deleted, instead of you hurt me when you deleted those messages. Express your expectations. Make it clear that open and honest communication is crucial for you in the relationship. Stress that you value trust and transparency and want her to be upfront with you, even if it's something that might make you feel uncomfortable. Consider her perspective. Try to understand her point of view as well. Long-distance relationships can be challenging, and it's possible that she had different reasons for not sharing certain things with you, even if they were not justified. Listen to her side of the story and be open to her explanation. Set boundaries. Discuss the boundaries that both of you should maintain with coworkers and friends. It's essential to establish what behaviors are considered inappropriate and should be avoided. Trust and rebuilding trust. Rebuilding trust can take time. Express that you're willing to work on it, but also make it clear that repeated lies can erode the foundation of trust. If she is serious about the relationship, she should be willing to work on rebuilding your trust. Therapy. Encourage her to seek therapy if she acknowledges that she may need help with her behavior and decision-making. Therapy can provide valuable insight into the underlying issues causing these trust problems. Evaluate the relationship. Take some time to reflect on whether this relationship is meeting your emotional needs and if it's a healthy and supportive environment for you. Sometimes, despite love, a relationship may not be the right fit if trust issues are consistently harming the partnership. Personal growth. Focus on your personal growth and well-being. A strong, healthy relationship is built on two individuals who are content and secure on their own. It's essential to have your own interests and life beyond the relationship. In long-distance relationships, it's vital to have a solid foundation of trust, open communication, and understanding. Both partners need to work together to make it work. And it's okay to reevaluate the relationship if it's not meeting your emotional needs. Ultimately, the key is open and honest communication and a willingness to work through these challenges together.
If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.